The world really needs to know that we are losing cheetahs in the wild. They are the smallest of the big cats, and they are the most endangered of all of our big cats or cats in all of Africa. Today's world population of cheetahs is less than 7,000. What we found was that farmers in Namibia were killing cheetahs like flies. Hundreds of cheetahs each year because they thought that they were a perceived threat to their livestock. I'm a dairy goat farmer and grew up on the back of my horse, so I am very well trained with our livestock as well. And I thought, man, were they really eating that much livestock that you would kill 800 to 900 cheetahs a year? And the answer is no. And I went door to door and I talked with the farmers more about their systems. How they farmed, how big their farms were. Their farms are huge. It's a very big country. Namibia is about 2.5 times the size of California. I had a reputation about this lady had come to Namibia, and the farmers thought, who is this crazy person? And then there was a perceived thought that if you see a cheetah, catch a cheetah, kill a cheetah. If you take a cheetah out of its home range and its territory, more animals come in, and it's kind of like a vacuum. So the farmers that were catching and killing cheetahs were opening up territories, and more of them were coming in from further and further away. And actually got the farmers to allow me to put radio collars on the cheetahs if they caught them, and instead of killing them, learn a lot more about their movement through the livestock farmlands. And then started looking at how to help the farmers live more in harmony with nature. And at this point, I'd been studying the cheetahs for over 15 years or more. We looked at the genetic makeup of the cheetah and found that the cheetah actually lacks genetic diversity, looking at a lot of reproductive abnormalities, disease problems. And knowing that the wild population was very, very, very important. But I explained all of this to the farmers after they told me everything about how they farmed. And then I asked them what would be needed for them to help me help save the cheetah on their land with them. They said, well, we never really thought about any of this. We really don't know anything about the cheetah. We just know that our fathers and grandfathers had told us to get rid of every predator. And they thought that there were hundreds of cheetahs on their farms. Our long-term research showed that they're covering 15 or more farms, each of those about 10,000 acres. So they've got huge home ranges, one of the largest ranges of any animal in the world. And back in those days, we had not studied much about the wildlife in the wild. And so I had a great opportunity of getting my hands on over nearly 2,000 cheetahs and collected blood, tissues, looked at their genetics, looked at their scat, looked at what they were eating, and was able to actually put all of the information together and share this with the world.
Okay, thank you.
10, 15 years ago, we then sequenced the cheetah's genome. We found that the genetics is actually affecting their reproduction. So we'd seen between 70 to 80% abnormal sperm. So you already have a species that's genetically compromised, and then when you have so few cheetahs, they're actually inbreeding, and so they're, in some of these populations, breeding to extinction. In India, they went extinct 70 years ago. In the Middle East, just in the 1970s, actually, which is not all that long ago. And the populations just continue to decline. Right now, the last of the Asian cheetahs are in Iran. And there are maybe a dozen there. And then there's a Northwest African subspecies, which were in Algeria and Niger, areas that I've worked with and studied as well. And the numbers have declined drastically to maybe only a couple hundred individuals. Their main problem is the competition with other large predators. So in these protected areas, you have, great populations, usually of lions and hyenas, leopards. They are also much larger and more powerful than the cheetah. The cheetah is the best hunter in all of Africa. but they lose a lot of their kills to these other predators. When they're having their young, the female has to leave her cub. She's dens, and the cubs are in the den for the first 6 weeks, and she has to go out and hunt. And there's a high infant mortality within the game reserves because of these other large predators. So the cheetahs actually moved out of most of these reserves, and about 80% of their remaining populations are found outside of protected areas. And on those lands, though, there is usually humans and livestock. And we breed a large breed of dog called the Anatolian Shepherd or the Kangal dog. And we give these puppies when they're born to the livestock farmers. They're placed with livestock and they grow up with their livestock, and they act as a deterrent to having predators come in to try to catch livestock. We see between an 80 to 100% reduction of livestock loss by having the livestock guarding dogs, not just to cheetahs, but to all predators. Cheetahs aren't considered an aggressive animal. They believe in flight versus fight. I think people think of them as the fastest land animal, and for some reason, when you're big or fast, maybe you think that somebody's taking care of them. Those small populations need augmentation. That's a big part of the future. We're working together with our communities in Namibia to save the cheetah for future generations.